So maybe I will start. So thank you everyone for coming. Yeah, my name is Michał and I am CEO of Mirumee Software. Our host today will be Dimitri. So I'm giving the mic back. So thank you for being here.
Hello, everyone. Hope everybody can come.
Dimitri, I think we lost you. I cannot.
You should be able to hear me.
I can hear you now.
Hello?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened there, but yeah, today's panel is going to be about Breitling's journey from their old legacy stack, to an API first MACH stack. We're going to be talking with various people from the companies that work together to work with Breitling on that, including Breitling, of course, with Alexander. I'll let everybody introduce themselves. When we get into the program. Selena from Agolia, Sophie from Contentful, Mirek from Saleor, who just spoke for a second there, and as well as Michał from Mirumee, who introduced the talk. I'm Dimitri. I'm from Saleor, and really great to hear from everybody today. So, how are you doing, Alexander? Do you want to say a few words of introduction?
Very well, thank you, Dimitri. So yes, my name is Alexandre Viola. I'm working with Breitling for the last 4 years now, and I'm currently digital platform lead. So I'm leading the digital platform strategy and product management. And our main asset is, as you said before, Breitling e-commerce website, which we replatform completely in the last 2 years.
Awesome. So, what were the real blockers in your old stock? Like, what prompted you such a big replatform?
So, to be honest, this platform, the legacy platform we had before, really reached its limits at all levels. So, technologically speaking, it was outdated from framework, from architecture point of view. We were still running on physical servers at the moment we started this initiative, which completely constrained our scalability and agility, as you can imagine. And the application itself was a massive monolith, so very difficult to evolve, expensive to maintain, and also slow to adapt to the changes and business requirements, etc.
And it was running for quite a long time, right? Like you guys were pretty early in the e-commerce for your sector.
Yeah, it was running from end of 2017. Was quite well in place.
Awesome. And so, what were the final kind of like business constraints that really decided, enough was enough? It's time to move on.
So we had several things that was really blocking us. As I was saying before, the time to market was one of the key one, the maintainability, the scalability. The brand was growing, moving more and more on omnichannel and D2C approaches. So it was time to change.
Great. And were there, different parts of the company that were driving this change? Was it coming from like the tech department, more marketing? Was it really the executive group? What was kind of like really pushing? Now is the time. Let's go.
So it was an initiative run by our CTO and also by our e-commerce teams. We were quite close and collaborating on this project. And we decided that it was the moment to switch, to move to a real full replatforming project, sorry, at this stage. And we didn't want to do it piece by piece, because that way was too risky. As you can imagine, we cannot risk the business. So we had to run and generate revenue on the platform while in parallel keep investing on a new one from scratch.
Yeah, that's actually really bold, because I mean, a lot of people, try to go for a more piecemeal kind of like approach where you kind of, strangle one area and then kind of like move over to another. Tell us more about the kind of business decision to kind of go with the full replatform across, everything that Breitling does and all the kind of different integrations that you have to take into account.
Yeah. So, as I said, we had to go piece by piece initially, but it was not really an option for the revenue generating aspect, making risk, etc. So we continued to run the platform as it was, and in parallel, from zero, we rebuilt everything. So from there, we started collaborating with all the stakeholders, as you can imagine. Some of our partners, some are here with us today. Also our internal team, we started building our own development team, which is quite exclusive and very nice to have. And also all our markets and internal e-commerce teams, putting most of the people around the table and starting defining, rethinking our foundation, thinking about how we can build something future-proof as well, because that was the point of redoing it from scratch. I will not hide that you can imagine it was tough. We have some complicated moments, even to set up this kind of organization inside a company while we are all running a full-time job. So we had to shuffle a few things. We increased the team where we were able to do it. And then step by step, we started and we fix and we adjust, and even our organization changed several times across the pattern. Yeah.
And you have like so many different kind of ways of interacting with Breitling, right? I mean, you have about 140 regions or something like that, right?
Yes. So currently, yes, the website is present on 140 countries and versions on the website. So not all of them, of course, are e-commerce, but we need to be present in this region just for a pricing perspective, some of them for SAP perspective, etc. So that volume was also a challenge that we addressed at all levels, and we can speak a little bit more about this with our partners from Algolia and Contentful regarding the localization, the structure of all of this. This was quite a challenge, and that also was part of the decision of choosing some of the products.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, like, I'd love to know more about some of the challenges there, especially because the Breitlings, it's an expensive product, and so I'm sure that there's a lot of integration, because I also know that, like, it's not just you can only buy it on the website, like a typical web checkout, right? You also have like you can phone, and you can and you can get like sales assisted help. Can you tell me a bit more about how that works?
Well, so as you know, we moved to this MACH architecture, and we're currently speaking about 20 to 30 apps that we are running isolated to make this possible. So I will not enter in the list of integration we have. It's a lot, but you can imagine like order management system, ERP, picture management, product information management, CMS, merchandising and search, etc. So yeah, this is also why we speak about digital platforms with an S and not website, because it's quite a huge setup we have there to support and run all of that.
Yeah, including like real-time customer care, right? Like
Yes, of course. So we have the website, everything you know about an e-commerce website. You can come, register, buy, etc. But all our sales associates can also pick up the phone with you and pass the order for you, guide you along the way until you just receive a link and you just have to conclude by paying your order.
Yeah, that's great because it's quite an expensive purchase, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's an expensive purchase for sure, but we remain, I think, in a good market position where we are right in the middle. So we have very nice and exclusive gold products, but we also have some accessible products which can be customized, like, for example, for the NFL or the Six Nations, where we have some very nice team-related products.
Awesome. And how do the physical locations fit in?
The physical locations, you mean?
Yeah, the actual stores, because there's stores there. Are they integrated in some way, or is it just?
Yes, so the stores are integrated in different ways. Classical like store locator, booking an appointment, and this kind of integration. And we also have some, let's say, omni-channel integration where you can buy online, pick up in the boutique, or the boutique can leverage the e-commerce stock if they are out of stock right now in their own boutiques. That's interesting connection we also have, and more to come.
That's great. Yeah. So like, what's the main thing? Like, so now you've got this integration, the people that you talk to on the phone are integrated, the shops are integrated, you have, presence in all these different regions. What is the main thing now that's possible for you that's, either from a business or a marketing point of view that wasn't possible before?
So I think we had key takeaway and good improvement we have now with this new platform. First of all, our internal tools like the e-commerce back office that our staff is using is way much more faster, more intuitive. And the fact that we rebuild it completely, also, we use this opportunity to kind of streamline it. So we removed what was unused. It's also helped to reduce the complexity and improve the maintainability of the solution. So I think that's something we should, in all software project, do time to time. The autonomy of our internal user was also a big important point for us. So meaning changing anything on the website, running a campaign, launching new products, etc. So most of this is now possible thanks to our CMS powered by Contentful. And also the aspects of search customization and merchandising that also our internal team can do. For example, for certain season, you want to boost some product up there in the search or on the product listing page. That's also something which is now possible with all this setup, especially this part with Algolia as well.
It's amazing. And what's next? I understand. I mean, now that you have this, this powerful modern setup, I understand you're also, Breitling has acquired some new brands as well. Is that correct?
Correct. So we have communicated recently about a new brand we acquired named Galet. So we went public and communicated around it in March this year. And the plan over the next 24 months is to relaunch this brand. And what is great with this platform we built is just like we were able to put live this website for the PR announcement in less than 3 weeks, thanks to the replatforming we did and the different modules and pieces we have. So now the next step for us will be to completely reactivate this brand and have a completely fully operational website for the brands on all aspects.
Amazing. Yeah. So that's really kind of the benefit of this sort of approach in terms of business agility. Awesome. We'll get back to you, Alexander. Let's move on to Mirumee. Do you want to say hello, Michał?
Thank you, Dimitri. Yeah, hello. So I'm Michał from Mirumee Software, and I am CEO. And it was a pleasure to being on the Breitling project. in the good and then bad times. So pleasure to being here.
Yeah, so really big project. Obviously not your first, since you guys did the very first Saleor projects in the world. How do you approach such a big project, such a high stakes project?
Yeah, so now we have name for it. We call it discovery phase, but when we started with Breitling, we didn't have this name yet. So discovery phase for us is like a three part of the process. The first one is gathering like what we are doing for whom, and like understanding the business, and this is really important for us because then we can make a good technical decision, not only based on the great technology, but also by the business. Second part is gathering the requirements, and here Breitling provide us the requirements. We're working with Alexander, gathering the requirements, so that part was covered. And the third one was the technical architecture. Is the technical architecture, and with Breitling, it was demanding because of how many countries, languages, currencies, and laws we need to adjust for. So and also composable architecture, as Alexander mentioned, 20 different services to connect, find the business solution for the current use cases, and also find which part need to be custom made. So yeah, so that was like that is how we right now doing a discovery phase. We also have more steps connected with the product design as well. So I won't list them all. So maybe if you can, team, pop up some link to the article that we have about the discovery phase, then yeah, feel free to check out more. Yeah, so mainly focusing on business, and I think this is the biggest differentiator for us. The why, what, and for whom. Those three questions we are asking. For Breitling, Alexander, they said why, and for us, for whom was the most challenging part to understand the luxury persona, people who are buying luxury products, but also understanding the customer service team, who we provide the back office, and also to understand a marketing team to provide the integration with. So yeah, so I would say,
yeah, like, and I guess like like we were talking about with Alexander, like the multiple touch points, like the fact that there's web in so many regions, that there's telephone, that there's in shop. This also must make the platforming introduce a whole bunch of challenges there.
Yeah, for sure. Like the link that Alexander mentioned, the checkout itself can be the same code, and the checkout is reused in the customer success portal and also on site. So that simplified use cases a lot. Worth to mention that developer portal, the customer service portal was made as a single page application utilizing the same APIs that Saleor dashboard does. So that was like a nice
Great.
Solution that we could use.
Yeah, one of the greatest benefits of kind of API first. That sounds like a great segue to start talking to Mirek. Hey Mirek, say hi and introduce yourself.
Hey. My name is Mirek, founder and CEO of Composable Commerce, and actually I've been on that project since the first kind of moment Breitling connected with us. So I think me and Michał and Alexander, we know all the quirks and problems and challenges. So I would be happy to speak about those, but I would like to actually connect a couple of points that already has been mentioned by Alex and Michał. I think differentiating part of good platforming from those that are not really a big success is the strategy. One thing that struck me from the very beginning was that Breitling had a very robust strategy for what they want to achieve. and what they currently have, what is the limitation. And they were basically thinking mostly about the right ingredients for the brand to actually grow, not to just survive the current moment, but how are we going to actually make our customers happier over time. So this boils down to building experiences. We all kind of, I think now, decoupling those experiences in the omni-channel time is very important. But this is one thing. So that strategy actually dictates the right technology and the choices that you have to do as a brand. And in that particular case, we had this very big project that was challenging internally and technologically. And yeah, it is a success. However, I believe because of the strategy and long-term thinking and just basically building for the future. And the fruits will come. Those projects sometimes take longer, sometimes can be faster. But I think more brands should be kind of starting with that. Where are we going to be within the next 2-5 years? What the challenges are going to present our customers to us? How are we going to adapt to those? And how are we going to provide best-in-class search? How are we going to provide best-in-class landing pages for the temporary sales or for bigger events? Who should be in charge of those? Should kind of merchandising team be coming to developers, bribing them with coffee so they can actually make a tweak and try to actually bend something so they can display additional information? That all is kind of being solved long term with Composable, with the right architecture and tools that really are preceded by the right strategy. So
great, yeah. So that, I mean, no, go ahead. Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt you. Sorry, it was just like
I also don't want to go too far on that single topic. So maybe.
Yeah, I mean, like, what's really interesting here, I think, is that how like Saleor really allows that business side independence, right? So for businesses to kind of like take more ownership, like have a more customer centric view of their data, to kind of like be able to like be like ready for the future, as you said, kind of. So like how does Saleor enable that?
Yeah. So we look at those bigger projects, or really all the projects, through the lenses of how can we actually provide those brands with tools so they can be future proof, as well as they can actually launch in predictable time as fast as they can, and then enable as much independence as possible for the teams and the customers ultimately. So we call it commerce as code when it comes to how the system is built. And then we also look beyond that through how the system is going to be utilized by the merchandising team, by the people who will be in charge of actually running the day-to-day merchandising, day-to-day sales process to the customers. So commerce as code is what we kind of coined as end-to-end approach to building platforms that are maintainable, that are versioned, and extensible. So we have that acronym, which is MADO, which is modeling, automation, delegation, and observability. This enables basically adding and connecting Saleor platform to any back office system that you currently have in place. It enables also powerful modeling. So all of those products, all of those promotions, and everything that you do actually in the direction of providing better experience, it has to be mapped somehow into e-commerce platform. So Saleor is one of the most powerful out there in the market, as we believe, and this is part of our strategy to make it so. The automation is pretty obvious, but we don't think about that very often. But imagine that you have to recreate your platform the next day, like Alex mentioned, a new brand, or that could be another instance of the sandbox that you want to run, and you want to actually replicate and version actually on the changes. You don't want to go around user interface really. You would like to have that version as a developer, as the team that is managing those platforms. So delegation is how we enable major flows to be extended with external systems. It could be tax-related services, could be obviously payments. Saleor enables you to add any payment that you want. We don't limit you. We don't kind of try to sandbag our checkout. You are free to actually experiment with any payments and approaches. And then observability is the last thing that is kind of necessary in the service-oriented architecture, and we have released that internally for the first customers. But basically, it means that end to end, you will be able to have an insight into what is happening within your system ahead of time. So basically, you can also react before your customers will start complaining. That is our goal. So this is commerce as code. This is the part that we consider the more technical part. But then, as soon as you launch, really, those developers that build that systems, they will be kind of answering to the merchandising team, and we want our dashboard to be as good as possible, even though you can actually write your own system that is perfectly fitted into the scenario. We put a lot of attention into just building that up. So this is how we kind of enable or try to enable faster, more secure, more maintainable rollouts. And last thing that I would only also say, also a little bit connecting of what Alex said and Michał, yeah, those like big projects usually they take time really, and there is a lot of strings that they have to pull together. Our goal is obviously to make it as fast as possible, but that internal ramp up time is worth taking. There is no brand that we've seen that was not actually taking major advantages from having the right digital platform underneath. Because what we really need, this is the last point, is the platform, as Alex said. You don't really need an e-commerce that is like additional channel for some folks buying online. No, in the omni-channel, like experiential era, you need a platform that would be able to react quickly. Like maybe LLMs are going to be the major discovery, platform very soon. How do you react to that? I mean, you need the right API, you need a platform, and that would be just another experience that you provide.
Awesome. All right, thanks. Well, let's move from Commerce's code to CMS's code over in Contentful. Sophie, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. Pleasure to be here. I'm Sophie. I am the account executive and account manager at Contentful for Breitling.
Amazing. And so, as we've heard about all of these things like internationalization, merchandising, Alexander said how great it was to have Contentful to open up this new brand, for example. How did content publishing change for Breitling when they moved to Contentful?
Yeah. I mean, look, I think many of us would agree, right? Being a marketer at Breitling is already, at least for the outsider, something really cool, something really special. You're working for a heritage luxury brand with this incredible, story behind it. There's so much to show in terms of content. Every campaign carries weight, every touch point matters. But what the marketing team back then and editors didn't really have was the right level of empowerment, and especially when it came to publishing that content. So before Contentful, every single update, and Alex mentioned that earlier as well, whether that's a global campaign, whether that's a product launch, or even just swapping out an image, required developer involvement. And they were obviously very lucky to have that team, but still, that made the whole process not just slow and costly, probably also pretty frustrating for editors who couldn't fully live out their creativity as well. And I think that dynamic has changed completely. With Contentful, there's this combination of brand and empowerment. I like to describe it in like two layers in terms of uplift. There's the visible layer, which is clear, right? Publishing is faster, less people need to be involved. Campaigns that used to take weeks can now go live in days. And I think Alexander also mentioned with acquiring additional brands as well, how processes look like now. Then there's the second layer, the implicit layer, which I think, at least from Contentful's side, is even more exciting. That's the empowerment and also the autonomy that Contentful created for their editors. So they no longer have to wait on dev tickets. They're really shaping experiences directly. That gives them both speed and obviously also confidence, so that those big vision, exciting campaigns can come to life quickly. Actually, one of my favorite examples is the NFL partnership with Breitling. From the outside, it's powerful because Breitling is obviously their official timekeeper. But behind the scenes, I think it's really powerful as well, because their marketing team has full autonomy, swapping images in minutes, making tweaks based on feedback from the other teams as well. So workflow-wise, also huge uplift. Also from the NFL teams, updating content in real time pretty much. So developers only have to step in for very specific components. Everything else is really handled directly by their editors. And I think that's a great example to show when the right level of empowerment and speed come together, they can make things like that happen. And yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, that really echoes what Alexander was saying. I mean, and of course, it goes without saying that that also means different device types, right? Once you have your content prepared, you're already ready for desktop, mobile, million different kind of device formats and everything else. You probably already have things optimized for SEO and all the other usual kind of stuff that can be a lot of work when launching a new brand. So how else are teams like does Contentful help teams move fast across all of these channels, devices, and things like that?
Mm-hmm. I think what really accelerated things for Breitling was the ability to create content, once and reuse it pretty much everywhere. So instead of also having to duplicate work across platforms, the team now can preview and push content across multiple channels, websites, markets. Our system basically allowed them also to collaborate across stakeholders, validate content and context, and ensure also alignment before publishing it. So this specific capability really saved Breitling an enormous amount of time while also ensuring obviously the necessary level of consistency, which for a heritage luxury brand is absolutely critical, of course. To really, ensure that what they're looking to deliver is on brand, is authentic, and is, basically in the quality the products are as well. So the editorial teams, they can now adapt content for different markets and languages. It's obviously a ton, more than 140. While really making sure they're staying, on brand and aligned with that global identity as well. And because they can also launch simultaneously across those markets, they move faster, they deliver more campaigns. They also strengthen the global presence without having to sacrifice that quality as well. So again, I think in the end, what we see is autonomy for the business and for the business teams involved, and consistency for the brand. The technology Contentful provides enables Breitling to really tell their story, to create new stories as well, and exciting partnerships, and obviously also still having that necessary level of reassurance and control as well.
Amazing. Well, that brings up another topic, because all of this commerce information, all of that content means that you have to have amazing search and discovery to find it all. So I'd love to hear from Selena from Algolia. Hi, Selena.
Hi, Dmitry. So I'm Selena. I'm a senior account executive in charge of the luxury industry at Algolia. Great.
So, how did it how did you work with Breitling? What role does search and personalization, play in this project and for this kind of customer?
So first of all, Breitling has been a customer of us since 2023, and now we power the search and also the category pages globally with recommendations coming soon. And search and personalization really sit together at the core of the customer journey. And for Breitling, really, Argolia makes the experience fast, relevant, and inspiring. Customers, when they are looking for something, they can find the products they want immediately, of course, but they also get guided to discover products they didn't expect. That mix of speed, relevance, and discovery really creates trust and loyalty to the brand, which is super important. And when personalization is added to this mix, the effects become even stronger. So by surfacing the right product at the right time, Breitling is able to deliver higher engagements, but also more click and ultimately better customer interactions. But there's another important angle, I guess. It's empowerment of Breitling's business team, as it was said by Contentful team and also by Saleor, is crucial. With Argolia as well, they have the tools to stay in control of what matters the most to them. It's control, be able to do some manual merchandising when they need special precision. But they can also save time and try to scale by deploying personalization and AI-driven optimizations. And we can even go down to really one-to-one experiences to really push the right watch at the right time for the right person. So in short, search and personalization are not just improving customer experience and engagement, but it's also really helping Breitling's team to have the perfect balance of control but efficiency on what they want to deliver to the customer.
And one thing that that is cool about Algolia, I mean, it's always been very great developer experience from early days. That's kind of one of the things that drove its adoption. So how does Algolia help such a broad stack? Because you have Saleor, you have Contentful, you have all the various backend systems, you have all these different touch points. How does Algolia help bring this broader stack together?
Yeah, that's a good question, really good question. So first of all, with Argolia and how it worked, we were able to really have a rollout that was designed around Breitling's rhythm and needs. So instead of one big global go live, we were able to deploy region by region. And in each case, really the scope included, of course, search and category pages, but it really allows Breitling to have impactful, validated, and aligned with really local priorities. So that was important. And it was thanks to two specific factors. It was first that Breitling worked with several MACH Alliance solutions, Contentful, Saleor, many that you also said, Alexandre. And that really is the integration because Argolia can really slot into the ecosystem seamlessly, ensuring a really clean and future-proof architecture for the following years, and also for your following project, as you mentioned before. And really the MACH approach also gives Breitling the flexibility to evolve over time. And that's why Argolia is really part of this MACH Alliance, because it's part of our DNA to really be able to get inside the stack quite fast, easily, and really to integrate to really satisfy the customer. And also second, but not the least, we were supported by Mirumee, our implementation partner, and they really played a crucial role in making sure that Argolia integrated smoothly into Breitling's broader stack. So that was really key. And today, Argolia, we really sit at the central discovery layer, connected, of course, to Saleor, Contentful, etc. And for us, the real benefit for Breitling is that, of course, there's one single engine for discovery across the entire journey. But it's also performance and scalability because you have a fast, resilient, and also the platform is ready to grow with Breitling. And we have just this layer of agility that allow merchandising and business team to really adapt, adjust, and test directly what they are looking for to be able to, we were talking about NFL, promote one watches in a second and really have everything set as they want.
Yeah. Amazing. Great. Well, thanks so much. Let's I'd love to talk some more with Alexander about all of this. So so you brought this whole stack together. What were some of the key challenges that in kind of making this all work?
So I think one of the the most important one is to have the big picture and take the time to assess. And that's also where I think every brand, every company tends to go too fast, because we have ideas, and yes, they are all part of the MACH Alliance, but it's not like Magnet and you put them together and everything is done, right? You need to connect them right. You need to understand all the small pieces of all the different partnerships and integrations, put them together, ensure it will work and respond to the needs, and also keep always in a side what you want for the future as well, because you need to build, especially in the case of replatforming, something that you will keep for the next 7 years, something like this. So yeah, you need to think of all of this to do the right things and keep the perspective as wide as possible.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, as you say, it sounds really good it sounds really so simple on paper. We'll just get Algolia, we'll find the right products, we'll get Contentful, we'll make sure those product information is correct, given all these millions of factors. Then we'll have Saleor to make sure that the right prices and the right transactions happen, the right shipping and fulfillment. But it doesn't just like plug together like Lego, right? There's there's a lot of wiring and work that goes into it.
And one thing that we tend to forget is that then you need to run all of them. I mean, putting them together, it's nice, but then you need to run on them. You need, as Mirek was saying, you need to observe, you need to monitor, you need to ensure everything is going well. So that part should not be underestimated by any team wanting to redo a new website, a new e-commerce platform from scratch, going full MACH, etc. You need to think about this, because this takes time, this takes investment. You have plenty of benefits, but then you need to keep the engine running.
So yeah, so given all that amazing experience, like if you were to advise somebody at the beginning of this journey today, what would be the number one advice you give them?
Take your time. I mean, the technology you will choose and look into on day one might evolve a lot, not be the same on 6 months after. So I think it's important to think about something future-proof, something you know how you will manage as well and how you will maintain, not just rush into something.
Awesome. And so just quickly before we're kind of out of time, like let's just get the same kind of what's the number one advice thing from the rest of the group. So Michał, what's your top piece of advice for somebody undertaking such a project? Uh-oh.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, so take your time on the beginning of the project. I think as much time you will take and make an architecture, make the proper decisions, evaluate tools, then you'll have less and less issues. But also, I think the biggest intake is also invest in the visual part of the architecture, not just the diagrams, but also for the design, product designs, wireframes. I think that is the biggest outcome from my perspective, to prepare a bit more. Everyone wants to jump, especially programmers, to writing code, but as Alex said, take your time and start to think more about the future.
Mirek?
Yeah, all like this time for thinking is time also to build the right strategy for the brand, and aligning stakeholders internally is very often also presenting a coherent point when we will be able to do and actually yield outcomes from that investment. So I would say there is no one size fits all, but one thing that is happening for sure is commerce is becoming experiential, you should invest in the right ingredients to actually embrace it for your own brand in a way that your brand will benefit from. You don't change technology for the technology itself. You might be maybe even fine with monolith, but if you're okay with being limited, but take your time to think and then match the right tool to the strategy that you pursue as a business.
Sophie?
I can really just echo what has been said. Really, don't just swap tools, right? It's not just about, the tech itself. Really think about how content flows through your business, what teams, should be involved, what teams should gain, right? As well. Too often, teams, at least from a CMS perspective, replace one CMS with another without rethinking the underlying process, what was just mentioned. And we often see bottlenecks stem from workflow and ownership issues just as much as from the technology in itself.
Okay, Selena, last piece of advice before we go to QA.
Yeah, sure. So for me, my advice would be, of course, choose the right tools, but takes really some time from the beginning of the project to think of what you would like to deliver and take some time to deliver. Like Breitling, for example, search and category pages directly. It took much more time, but after the go live was way better and way smoother. So definitely better.
Awesome. Well, thanks, everybody. That was amazing. We're only 2 minutes over, so that's not so bad. We had a lot of great ideas. So let's go into QA. What questions do we have? Michał, can you read that?
Yep, I have a question to Michael. What does the process of creating an online store looks like from your perspective? If I came to you tomorrow, what would happen? I think I will just repeat the discovery phase, which means understanding your business first. And I will emphasize that because if we don't understand managers and if the programmers don't understand your business, then the solution, even the best technical solution, won't fit your use cases. So business part, the requirements. Right now, we mostly use event storing technique to gather requirements, understand your personas and how your system works. And then the visual part. So how you so words are great, but visual part, images will solve a lot of issues, because then you will see how the product will look like and wireframes will be looking like. I think that would be the proper way of creating any kind of application, not just online stores.
So if somebody came to you tomorrow, the first thing you do would be to really try to find out what exactly it is they want to build.
Yep, exactly. And what is funny, clients not always even understand what they want to build, and we build the idea first with them, and then we build the product.
Great. Do we have more questions or any other comments before we move on?
I think
So, Selena.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Good question. So without a doubt, I think it's the impact of AI and LLM, how people really search now and try to discover information is really evolving. I think we are all using OpenAI or ChatGPT or other tools in our daily life. So really at Algolia, it's exactly where we are innovating. We are trying to combine semantic and also vector search with our proven AI-powered ranking. And now we also integrate it with LLMs to allow really customers to enrich their user journey with natural, conversational, and guided experiences, which is super important for brands like Breitling, keeping the control and being able to have some scalability that you need. So really, we are developing some new products to try to allow this to be faster and easier to implement on some different websites for our customers.
Cool. All right. Well, then let's move on to the next question. Thanks so much, Lynn. this is for Alex.
How do you see the role of physical boutiques evolving in an era where online experiences are so advanced? So we are in the world of luxury, and even if we sell a lot through the phone, I mean, we still have a lot of customers that want the experience. And for that kind of people, and I'm part of them, we need to face someone. And as you were saying, Dimitri, it's also some luxury and pricey products. So it's important to be able to see, to test, to touch the product and have a contact you can speak with and deal with directly in the shops, not always online. That really depends on the type of customer, the mindset, the habits. And I think we can go and add some 3D projection, this kind of AI, virtual try-on, this kind of things. This will never pass the touch and feel of some of the products.
Yeah, I mean, this is something you're really kind of buying as like almost a legacy thing for like that you plan to have for a very long time.
Yeah.
Awesome. So what's our next question? Oh, go ahead. That's right.
Sorry, just on this to finish. Sorry, we also want to continue binding them together, because you can start a journey in one touch point, finish it on another one, and vice versa. That's also something we are looking at.
Yeah, it's great. Potentially even all three, right? You can start on the web, go to telephone, and end up in the shop.
Yep. So currently we can go on the web, add product in your wish list, call on the phone, they guide you through your wish list, they pass the order for you, you can get delivered in the closest boutique. Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's really cool. So what's our next question? So from your perspective, which aspect of AI commerce excites you the most for the future? I'd love to hear from actually both Selena and Mirek on that.
I was saying, Mirek, if you want to go first.
I can go first, of course. So I would say that. So I would start with something maybe controversial, but brands don't need more noise. They need better strategies. I said that many times. And for some of those brands, AI is going to be a huge part of, like, possibly huge opportunity. So with that in mind, I would say, again, that this is just another experience on top of your platform. So you need a robust platform. And you need a robust platform because data is becoming more and more important in that context. And really, data is becoming kind of your, real-time data is becoming part of your nervous system, kind of for the company, like how to make better decisions, what you can actually do better for your clients. Like Alex said, some of these AI things, like try on online, doesn't pass in that industry. People actually specifically don't want to do it. They want to have the full between shop and online experience. So I think there is right now, short-term decisions that needs to be addressed on ASAP, like how do you present your content, your products. It is more semantic search, and people sometimes don't know what they're looking for, and this, like contextualized kind of beginning of the journey is more important than ever. So have better descriptions, have more context, talk about your product in a way that makes sense from the intent perspective of someone looking for those products, possibly in LLM. So 5 to 10%, I think, traffic in major marketplaces in UK, that was one of the studies that I've seen, comes from ChatGPT right now and other LLMs. So I have to be ready short term kind of for that. And this actually dovetails into content. And I think we have a great panel actually to discuss maybe more details on some point in the future. And then the second long term is, agentic commerce might be part of what some of the customers will be basically looking for. Not everybody likes buying, not everybody likes actually discovering those things. So definitely this is an important wave that every single brand should look into. And for that, I think you need the right platform with the right ingredients, which is granular control over data, business continuity. If anybody would like to take that data from you, and basically being able to be agile and move fast in the spaces that are of your importance.
Selena, what do you have to add from
AI
that?
is going to stay
agentic.
from my perspective. So that's just the final thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. But it must be a huge topic for Algolia, the whole agentic search, agentic commerce.
Yeah, exactly. It is. And I think it's really important for in the luxury industry, because we know that what makes the difference is your DNA. And when I'm going to a Breitling shop, I can feel the specific DNA of Breitling. I have this specific atmosphere. I'm going to live a specific experience. Like Alexandre say, you're going to this shop to buy a product, but you're going there to live something special. And when I'm going to a website of one of these luxury brands, I need to feel kind of the same vibe. But when I'm on a website, I'm alone. So this agent could really help you, guide you, give you more insights, help you create this specific bond with the brand that will bring you at one point to buy or to go to the shop. So really for us, we see it really as an asset who will help the brand be even closer to their consumer, to their visitors, to really create this specific bond.
Awesome. And actually, come to think of it, I mean, this is also a pretty big thing for Contentful as well, Sophie, right? Because it's like maybe not so much in the agentic search and shopping, but in the content, in content flow and personalization, a lot of other areas. Do you have any comments you want to add there, Sophie?
Absolutely. You're touching on something very exciting as well, because you know, from a product perspective, we have added on personalization as well, and it's exactly about that. And we're taking on the first steps also with Breitling as well. It's really about how can we make exactly this experience from online to physical more cohesive as well. And obviously, Mirek, you mentioned, right, it's data is becoming key to that as well. So how can we really ensure we're having this truly relevant experience from a content perspective as well, when it comes to basically echoing the luxury level in terms of customer experience that a customer would get inside the physical location, right?
Absolutely. So I guess we have one more question. So what is that? What is that question? From what I see, the upfront integration costs look pretty high. How do you balance that against the promised long-term agility and vendor independence? Alex, this is definitely something I'd love to hear from you on.
From what I've seen, the upfront integration looks pretty high. How do you balance that against the promised long-term agility and vendor? I mean, at several aspects during this webinar today, we mentioned something which is hard to value is the time we save from people. And I think this is one of the key balance of all of this. We need, I mean, it's very hard to define and to calculate, but this is where we are striking most of the points. People get autonomous, so indirectly you grant them the ability to do more from their time that they were doing before, so they bring more value to the brand by working on more projects, spending less time on time-consuming tasks, etc. So I think for me, this is where the real balance is. But yeah, I can imagine it's hard to put numbers on it. But the human is one of the most important dimensions there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, especially with like a large replatforming like Breitling undertook, the upfront costs, are quite high, right? But in the end, I mean, it doesn't seem like the alternative is to start with something that already doesn't fit you, right? Or that already is kind of like not fitting the customer experience you want to create, not fitting the business requirements you have. So that upfront cost really feels that in the end you've accomplished what you need to accomplish, right? You have the business requirements that you want to have, you have the customer experience that you want to have, and and you can move into new brands, as you mentioned, and does that make sense?
Yeah, no, completely. I mean, before starting the project, we had our own discovery phase, if I can take the term from Michał, is we went through all of these options. We looked into them and we just took them out progressively because we were facing a lack of customization, something we are not able to do, something we are not able to integrate, and we really wanted to. So step by step, we move forward, and then yes, we grouped this great team, all the people and the software together, and we made something that was really fitting our needs.
I would also
amazing. Well, go ahead. Yeah.
Also add here, like the biggest value that is, I don't know if anyone is talking about, but when you integrate with any of the providers that understand their part of the business very well, you are coming with the problems that you know, but also you get solution for the problems that you are not facing yet. And those providers are already solved those issues. And from our side, from the software agency, also a lot of value is in the communication. And I love work with Algolia and Contentful because we have like a direct Slack connection, and we are communicating right away, not through like emails, waiting a week or even months to get a response, but we are working with the technical people. And this is a great value, which also is added to the cost. So I wouldn't say it looks pretty high. It looks good for the for the value you are getting. So yeah.
Absolutely. So thanks everybody. It's been a really great webinar. Thanks to everybody watching. If anybody wants to get started with Saleor, and we're happy to make introductions to everybody else as well, just you can email us at hello@saleor.io, and look forward to helping you all in your own commerce journeys. Thanks especially to Alex and the rest as well.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.
Thank you.